Hello, and welcome to the Lady Gang. This is part 2 of our amazing interview with the iconic Sharon Stone. She's giving us so many little nuggets of brilliance, and we just love being in her presence. She is so incredible. Enjoy the episode, and next week we'll be back to our regular scheduled Lady Gang. Enjoy. Here's Sharon. I feel so inspired by your sense of self, and I feel very lost in my sense of self right now. Like, I feel very unsure of, not to be like so self-centered, but just like to say it out loud. I feel very unsure of who I am, what I've meant to be, and it's been upsetting to me because I've worked so hard. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, man, I really hustled, like moved to New York when I was 18, put in the 6 a.m. mornings at all these dance auditions, and then worked so hard to do TV and have had success in that, and like have had success, sure. And like on paper, you're like looking at your IMDb and you're like, wow, look, I did all this stuff. But then like at my core, when I peel away all the layers of the stuff, it's like, what do I want my life to look like? What do I want my days to be like? What do I want my soul to feel like? Like, what actually makes me happy? When I get fired from whatever job I'm doing right now, what will I do in my spare time? What is my passion? Do I paint? Do you know what I mean? So I feel very lost, and I hope a lot of our listeners maybe feel the same way, where it's like, you're so busy doing that when you have a lull, I guess that's when you figure out who you're supposed to be.
Well, it's like, who are you in the quiet moments?
And I'm like, but then my point being is that like in the quiet moments, I do know what I like. I like to read. I like to do a craft. I like to organize a closet. But then that just seems so boring that I'm like.
But it's not. What happens in these quiet moments is we're refilling our well. Okay. We're having time to be alone with ourselves, and alone time is the most important time. Is the time when you decide, is that painting really supposed to have the background of this blue or is it black? And it's a huge decision, and I can't. It's taking me days to get to this, you know? These seem like stupid things, but they're huge things. And, you know, I think back on all of these endless stupid jobs I took and things I did. You know, these shows like The Voice and these talent shows, the original one started with me and Ed McMahon. And I was the model. And it was, there was going to be the modeling talent was one of them. And I was the supermodel of it. And me and Ed McMahon were the hosts when he was still on Johnny Carson. Wow. Okay, that's how long ago.
Right.
And I did that stupid show. But it was the foundational show for the You've Got Talent,
right, and
The Voice and all of these shows that spun out from that. There are so many. I was the fit model for jeans that went on TV that had plastic on the butt cheeks. I was the fit model for the jeans that were the you fry the bacon and bring it home in the pan and never forget to tell him he's the man commercial.
Oh my God.
Right? I did 200 commercials. I did slim tint lip gloss for Maybelline. I did, you know, everything. I was the Charlie girl.
So are you just saying like it's just none of it really matters, or it all matters to you but not to anyone else? Or
oh my God, Jodie Foster and I were both. She when she was a little girl, and me in my 20s, we were the suntan. The suntan.
Coppertone
girls.
Yeah. Oh my God.
You know, everybody, if you make it, we're all of those things, including I was a waitress for a lot of years. A lot. I got quarter tips for a lot of years. Mm-hmm. I was the short order cook and the pool person in the snack and rack pool hall.
Not the snack and rack, honestly.
Wow.
I could hustle pool and cook on a short order grill. I mean, you go through so many things and you get in what I would call either late middle age or early elderly. And,
Early elderly.
and you realize I might start over right now and be something else again. I don't even feel right now that I could say, I know who I am. I may end up becoming a diplomat or an ambassador, which I think that I'm highly qualified to do. And I wouldn't be surprised if one day I'm an ambassador to somewhere. And that would seem very like a whole new and wildly different thing. But I feel I did over 30 years with AmFAR. I feel I'm highly qualified on an international level to speak to people because I've done it. Right? And I've done it in the scientific community, and I've worked with World Health, and I've worked with the United Nations, and I've worked all over the world. Why not? Do I know who I am and who I'm going to be in this regard? No. Even though there's a Sharon-essence right now, do I feel that I know where I'm going? No.
And does that terrify you, or are you like, you've been doing it for so long that you're like, I'll be fine?
Whatever we think God is, and all over the world, people believe in God and Allah and all different names they have for God. And people who don't believe in God believe in trees and earth and many different forms of spirit or aliens or whatever, right? But at the end of the day, whatever you believe that higher power is, let's all have enough intelligence to believe that that higher power can speak in many different languages and many different formats if it really is as intelligent as we imagine it to be. And it really is as loving as we imagine it to be. Let's imagine for a moment that it's all of those things, right? And then let's ask ourselves, how many times has it actually dropped us and just let us lay there? Because if we lay there, it's usually of our own volition. So not really. And for me, I have to say, not really ever. Because I've been right down to the skid marks in my life. I mean, I've been right down where I'm burning rubber in a long, long burn. But I've made it back up. So what I think is, well, I'll just do that. I'll just do that. And whatever it takes to do that, that's what I do. So I'll probably just do that. So do I get nervous? Sure. And even in the Sharon-essence, am I panicking? Oh, yeah. Because it's my nature.
Right.
Right? It's my nature because, well, I have 3 kids. No, your kids don't really live with you anymore, but I have to pay for their college. Look, Sharon, do you think you could pay for their college? Yeah, you could probably pay for their college. You can probably handle that. You'll be able to do that. Well, what if you can't? Well, they're smart. They'll probably get a scholarship. So why can't you settle down? Because that's not how you think you drive yourself. You have to be the best. You have to do well. You know?
Well, I'm just like I think in like, I don't know about you guys, but like, I just like.
You're tired. It's an exhausting time.
I'm tired of hustling my way to the success. I would rather just crawl in a hole and never have it. My old self was like, okay, I'm going to go after these big things because I want to have these big things and these big successes and this big, ooh, wow, like you did it, you did it, you did it. And now I'm actually at the point where like I'm a little less gung-ho to try, and I'm a little more like, you know what? it actually doesn't matter.
I fear you might be sipping the Kool-Aid. Okay.
The Hollywood?
Our country right now is really slopping out the Kool-Aid that we don't have value. And I think we really do. Okay. And I'm looking.
I do think it is a value thing. Like, I don't feel valuable. Like, I'm just like, meh, nothing really matters. It's useless.
Well, let me just say that women are the most valuable. We are the most valuable. If we were not the most valuable, people wouldn't spend so much time trying to say we were the least valuable. When there is an effort to communicate that women have less value than everyone, when there is an effort to take away your ability to make money, to have a say, to vote, to be important, when there is a specified target to devalue you in any way, it's because you have so much value. And I know this because I have been the subject of attacks. I've been the subject of, we can cancel you here, we can shut you down there, we can take away your jobs, we can put those things on your airline tickets where we harass you at the airport, all during my presidency. I've had all these different things happen to me, from countries, from presidents, from bullies, from people who say, I don't like you, I'm going to do this to you. Different people can do these things to you. And anybody can do this to you online. And anybody can do whatever they want to you. But you don't have to accept it. It doesn't have to have impact on you. You get to choose. You get to choose what flow you live in. I don't live in that flow. I live in a different reality. I don't read that shit. I don't participate in that stuff. And if you're going to shut me down on that highway, I'm going to drive on a different highway. It doesn't really affect me. I have other highways to go on. I don't really care. You're going to say, I can't do that thing? Well, guess what? I'll do another thing, because I am a multifaceted, fascinating, brilliant, funny, smart, cool person. I mean, if you just turned me out and said, you're going to not have a home, go live in a shack on the beach, I'd be the head of the Beach Shell Beaters Union in 3 months.
I know that's true, and it would be the sickest, chicest shack.
Right. And everybody would be at my beating shack on the beach.
Yeah.
That's just the way I roll. So
true.
You could put me in prison and I would be the head of the prison reform. You know what I mean? I would clean up that prison because that's who I am.
Yeah.
I would make it better to be in prison because that's my purpose and my destiny in life, is to be of service. So I'm cool with me. Wherever you put me, I'm going to do my job, and my job is not going to change. My job is to be humanitarian and to be of service.
Well, it's interesting because you said to me once, like when I was melting down once, I texted you and you were like, girl, you don't want to be an it girl, because if you're an it girl, then you're out.
Right.
And that was
you're in and then you're out.
That is one of the things. I have repeated it many times on this podcast. I have it in my phone. I have it written in my journal. Like, I remember you saying that, because it's like I see everyone swirling around and I'm like, oh my God, I want to have the thing and the person. And it would be so nice if our team that runs Lady Gang, I mean, it's a very small team, but like the agents and the whoever's, were like, oh my God, the way that they're flocking to the it girl right now. And like everything's happening for them because it's all hands on deck. And you're just like, please, can I pleb out of this, But then you're right. It's like, yeah, for that year, for that 2 years, then you're out. And it's nice. Like, that's why I find you so inspiring.
Well,
You're
you look at, for example, there are families of people who were so it. And then your style goes out, and then you have to go literally change your beingness. You have to suck out this and change out that and do out this and redo you all to be it again. I mean, ew.
Yeah.
Ooh, nothing is more interesting than your authentic self. And when you're super successful for the thing that you are. That'll go out, but it'll also come back in again. The light rotates. It'll hit you, and then it'll come off you, and then it'll hit you again. And when it's off you, train. Train, learn, study, get in shape, be excited, hang out with your friends, do other things. Be so glad people aren't looking at you. Ugh. And then get ready for when they are.
Yeah.
I get in shape and get ready for when they're going to look at me again. And who gives a shit? I don't need everybody chasing me around all the time. When they chase you, then there they are.
Wow, it's so true. Because when you're in an industry, and there's a lot of them like this, where you're not in the driver's seat and you're, of yourself you are, but you're not in the driver's seat of who's making decisions and deciding when it's your time to be in the light. And a lot of people waste their time not in the light, just being miserable that they're not in the light and wasting away every single moment that light's not on them. And it's such a waste of a life. And I think that's where I got with my whole career. My idea of this career was like, you're waiting for life to begin and it's just going. It's years and years
But
go by.
It's like that about everything. It's like that with your relationships. Yeah. Sometimes you have a friendship for a long time and then the person vanishes and you're like, okay. And it doesn't have to be a bad thing. You can be like, well, they're out gathering information and doing things and having experiences, and maybe they'll come back and our friendship will restore itself. People need to come and go. You need to come and go. We all need to grow. And even in our closest relationships, certain parts of these relationships cool out so that other parts of the relationship have a chance to develop. And other parts of the relationship have a chance to strengthen and appear and become relevant and are necessary, because we don't know all aspects of each other. When we first meet, we're all hot for each other, and even in our friendships, we meet, we fall in love with our friends and they're so cool. And then we start seeing other things about them and we're like, ugh. And then, oh, okay, we like them again. And, all these things happen in all of our relationships. And a relationship with what we call success is the same kind of thing. Because what is success, really? It's a shiny thing. And shiny things don't stay shiny all the time. You have to work and repolish them and look at them and understand them and pound out the dents and then polish them again. And it's that old patina that becomes really valuable, not the original shiny thing that still has the plastic on it.
It's like you envy people who have, I used to, the charmed life. Like the people you look at and you think, you've never fallen down. You've always been shiny. You didn't have, and you think when you're young that that's what you're aiming for. You're like, if I could just get out unscathed and just always be what that is, good or whatever. And as you get older, I have so much gratitude for all the things that doled me out.
I walked away from my career at the height, right after Casino. I got married and moved to San Francisco. And I just thought, I can't take the heat. I don't want to be Tom Cruise. Mm-hmm. But then later I thought, I should never have done that. Mm-hmm. I threw everything away. But the pressure was so much, and I didn't feel cared about, and I wanted to be cared about. But it didn't happen by me doing that. Mm-hmm. I was chasing that. Mm-hmm. I was not accepting what was right in front of me as the kind of love I was getting in the moment. And I was trying to get something that I thought would be better instead of just sitting down and staying in my gratitude for what was actually happening to me right now. Mm-hmm. And I think whatever it is in the right now There isn't anything better than what's happening in the right now. The present is the good thing. Present is good. I walk into your present and it's so beautiful. And I love your present right now. And I'm so impressed with your present right now. And all of your present right now. Like I see your Lady Gang rings and I think, gee, I'd really like to have a Lady Gang ring. Why don't you
We've got your address.
Why don't you sell your Lady Gang rings? Everybody'd like to be a part of Lady Gang and have the Lady Gang rings that you have. They're so beautiful. And I think that's what you should do next. You should sell these beautiful give me that ring. We're gonna
Look at this ring.
See this Lady Gang ring? Now that's what you should do. You should be selling your Lady Gang rings. My feeling is we all want to be in that pretty place with you guys. And we all want to be in this, like right now, while everybody is saying women are supposed to start wearing those flowered dresses again. Like
What flower dresses?
Like
you know,
prairie
Prairie
like
dresses?
those friggin' prairie dresses. Like,
Trad wives.
like I don't want a prairie dress.
I would.
You know what I mean?
Amen.
You in a prairie dress.
I would not. Yeah, it would be shocking to see you in
like
a prairie
I
dress.
don't want a prairie dress. I don't want 8-year-olds to be the age of working for children. I don't want us to have Little House on the Prairie back on TV, and I don't want us to pretend that this is what women really want from themselves. Because do any of us want that? Anybody in here think that that's
I don't know.
No,
want a
For me.
prairie dress?
no.
No. But I also think we don't want high heels anymore either.
Right.
You know what I mean? COVID happened and we all realized, like,
I'm good.
I'm good without the friggin' high heels either. And so we're
in mule era.
we're
Or a
in
sensible
an
sneaker.
era, and we're trying to have this thing shoved down our throat of no birth control and get on those flowered prairie dresses. And that's about as appealing as stabbing yourself in the eye with a fork, you know? And I think we are not supposed to be saying how we feel because we're not supposed to be having any feelings right now. And I think that's why we're all like being envious and I want this and I wish I could have that. And I feel anxious because we're imagining the possibilities are being taken away. I think that, we have to stay in the flow state. And the flow state is just to be I flow with me.
Yeah.
I flow with my truth and reality. And I don't attach to those things.
Yeah.
Because attaching to that will give you anxiety and depression and cause you to feel the I don't know who I amness because I'm not that. And then I'm envying those who have been able to stay attached to their I amness. There is a yoga exercise where you sit like you're already sitting, like this. And you have a hand in front of your heart.
Okay, should we do it?
Yep.
And you just say, you breathe in deeply, and you go, I am, 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 I am. I am, 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 right?
Yeah.
See the joy you're starting to feel? See how you feel infused with joy?
The vibration.
Yeah.
Because you are.
Like oming.
And I want all of you ladies out there today, young ladies, old ladies, I want you all to know you are. You are. And the imposition of a bunch of old white men telling you, Get your prairie dresses on, girls. Go ahead if that's your I amness, but make sure I am is present first. Make sure you are who you are putting on the idea of. And when you do I am, make sure you know, because you do know. That sense of I don't know, that's you wallowing in an untruth. You're just getting confused by all the bullshit and the rhetoric. Try to stay out of it. Try to stay off the news channels. Try to stay out of that stuff. Try to listen to more music. Try to do more self-fulfilling things. Try to do the things that really are your creative, your female selfness.
Yeah.
Because that is so key. Because we all have the true ways we express the divine female. And that is what is really key right now. They are correct in saying you need to express the divine female. But the ideology of what is the divine female is being expressed by a broken male. You need to say the divine female from a whole female self. And all of you are whole. I've been around you, but you have had your feminine self expressed as being broken. Illness doesn't make you broken. That's environmental. Okay? Just stay in your divine feminine and say, I am. And the want to be things is so okay. That's okay. That's your creative self directing you towards, oh, my I amness would like me to follow this direction. My I amness is saying, oh, that's very interesting and exciting towards me, and I admire the women that are doing this. Don't confuse your want with jealousy or envy unless it has malice attached to it. When it has malice attached to it, that's you saying, I don't want to be like that. That's you looking at those women and saying, that is not my I amness. That's me saying, I don't like that they have that and everyone is saying it's good, when I should be doing these things in a wholesome and healthier way. It's not you saying, I want to be that thing. It's you saying that thing, I find that distasteful. And it's true that there are women doing jobs you'd rather do in ways that you don't care for.
That is so true.
And that's okay.
Because I always think sometimes I'm like, oh, well, I could have that, but I have to trade my whole life. Like, then I don't get Chris. Then I don't get my dog. Then I don't get my family. Like, you have to take their husband. Gross.
And
like, I don't want that.
And I wouldn't do it like that.
Never.
No. So it's true. Because what it is happens is you don't really want that.
You don't want the whole thing.
No.
Just want the tiny.
But you've been told you should be that.
Ooh.
Right? You don't really want that. So just drop that. Drop it. Drop thinking that's what you want, because it isn't. That's yourself smelling bad milk. You don't want that thing.
Okay, Sharon, speaking of bad milk, my last question for you is shady, and we can take it out if we need to. But listen, at the end of the day, I'm the host of E! News. I noticed that there was like another simple favor, and then you Instagrammed. And you were hired on the show and then let go of the show. You never really explained it. Would you like to explain it?
I was hired by the director
Okay.
to play a part on the show after I had a really lovely meeting with him. Then he called me and said, we want to put a different actress in that part. Would you take a different part on this movie? And I said, sure. Which part is it? And he told me, and I said, sure, that sounds fun. I'd do that part too. And then I got a call back again saying, do you mind? We want to give that to someone else. Would like you to step down.
Oh my God.
And so I stepped down.
Who did they give the part?
We have to watch the movie, but nobody did.
I'm not going to watch it.
Hey!
And then I noticed one of the leads mentioning that she couldn't remember doing the show because she had taken ayahuasca, and that made me laugh. And I thought perhaps I should have taken ayahuasca and forgotten all about this situation as well.
Right. And that's the period. And that's the end of the story. Thank you so much for clearing that up. Because I was
You're
like,
welcome.
wait, what happened? Okay. Well, you know what? You missed out in a big way.
Well, I think probably I didn't.
No.
In a
they
big
did.
way.
They
missed out.
Yeah, they missed out.
You just didn't waste your
You're
time.
I think in a big way, I'm kind of glad that I didn't get tangled up in all of that.
Yes.
Conversation.
Yeah.
Though I would like the tea if you did.
I would like the tea too. Okay, Sharon Stone, you're an icon. I can't wait to see you on the new season of Euphoria. And I know we're going to promote the crap out of your 2 new movies. They're not out.
August 15th is Nobody 2.
Yeah, August 15th. Okay.
Rewatch Nobody because it's great.
Yep. August
In
15th.
memoriam.
In memoriam,
Is
yes.
the other one? When's that?
I don't know the release date yet, but
Okay.
it should be soon. Should be pretty
Okay,
soon.
it's the summer of Sharon Renaissance. We love you. Thank you for coming back to Lady Gang, and we will
See you next Tuesday.